on stage. The lead role is the focal point of the audience's, but in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be this. What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of. I understand why you're.
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, but you can't bring yourself to do that. I'm so grateful that Miss Nafia was so understanding. To be perfectly honest, it's always easiest to just run away from your problems.
So that's why you were nervous when they brought up—
Yeah. I'd be lying. Still, I felt it was something I had to do. I'd be overjoyed if the people here could find it in their hearts to forgive me. Yeah, I can tell people are watching me. I'm sure some people here see the idea of someone coming to Poisson dressed as the Hydro Archon as extremely disrespectful. I used to be terrified of the gaze of other people. I guess I wasn't
I'm not surprised you're making yourself go through all of this.
I can't let myself see only the things I want to see.
Look! There seems to be a crowd gathering over there.
Probably time we made a move. How about we check out Spina di Rasula's ship? I'm sorry. You probably just wanted to relax.
We don't mind.
Great. Well, I appreciate. I don't know whether you can tell, but as I stand here by the ship, I can't one after another. People were they thought their god would protect them. And all the while. But then the floodwaters finally came.
You shouldn't look at it like that. You were only
I've had to go through so many moments like that for the sake of... Eventually, I realized I had nothing left except the truth. Fortunately, we were able to avoid... Everyone rose to their responsibility, but on some level...
Paimon would have never
Reward? I guess so. Back then, I didn't even dare to. I was scared of someone recognizing me. Believe in the Furina you see on stage. She is the one you can trust. I had to keep all my feelings, all my curiosity. That's what I really meant when I...
So that's where you were coming from. Paimon.
Could you please get off my case? I don't know what's gotten into you today. I'm making an effort here. I do. At least the choice is in my hand. All right, it's about time to head back.
Sure. Okay, let's head back.
Didn't you say you needed to watch what you eat?
Come on. It's not every day we get to... Anyway, my character doesn't need to be slim.
Are you kidding me right now? It's not... I've spent my whole life battling the effects of ill health, and it kills me to watch...
Oh no, looks like there are... We're back! Could you maybe put your
You're back. We've been enjoying Paulo's nearly done. We shouldn't have to wait too much.
Great! So you were discussing your characters, right?
Me? I'm an Oceanid too.
He was originally supposed to take the form of a crane, but he...
The boar's not a bad character, actually. He's the one who raises the little Oceanid, yes?
That's right. He has some pretty memorable lines too. If you become human, you can reveal your secret to—
Wait, that sounds kind of...
It's the most important line in the whole script. She kept quiet about all the trials and tribulations It was only after she was gone.
You mentioned earlier that the troupe is like you—
Yeah. I spent some years taking whatever work I could find and it was like that until the director found me one day. She told me she took me under her wing, taught me to both sing and act,
She sounds like a really incredible...
She really was. She gave everything. I was a lost child too when she found me. The other kids were always picking fights with me. They'd say things like, "Come on." One day, I got beaten up so bad that I just couldn't take—
Let me guess.
Yeah. For the first time in my—
The day you hoped would never come.
Oh, you're finally done? Get your butt over here.
Furina? The Furina? Oh my god!
Please, the honor is all mine.
Same here!
Even so, this is just... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Yes, the script, of course. Let me give you I'm sure you're already familiar with the beginning of the story. She finds love and friendship in the bustling city. The people start to notice that all the fresh water in the surrounding area is slowly disappearing. The little Oceanid, Cleo, and her lover decide to do something. In the end, they discover that all the waste and pollution created—
consciousness.
Water as a conscious entity.
Since the little Oceanid is a water spirit, she immediately understands how the water is feeling. Her lover accepts her for who she is, and works with her to find a way. The little Oceanid is accused of being directly responsible.
And then?
In the end, she makes the brave decision to sacrifice her—
Huh? But didn't they all treat Cleo like a villain?
Well, she mainly wanted to save her lover, plus—
Through her love for her human partner, she was able to find an even greater love.
There's actually something else that You know the protagonist is supposed to represent the director, right? If we're serious about dedicating this show to her memory, we... What about if... the little Oceanid...
That sounds like too cruel of an ending to me.
That ending would be a perfect mirror to Director Aureli's death. On the day when she went missing, Director Aureli had instructed us all, somewhat out of... We waited and waited at the rendezvous point. We looked for her. The Gardamex looked for her.
The director was the kindest soul in the world.
But doesn't the way she suddenly told you to leave the city suggest...
I've been trying to follow up on that ever since, but all my efforts so far...
Villemont? The one who's playing the role...
Yeah. He's been overwhelmed by grief.
Grief? Guilt, more like. Because... Well, speaking of the play being...
What? You...
It's time to be upfront with you all. No more keeping secrets from... I did tell her how I felt once. She said that we were all like brothers and sisters to... Not that it came as a shock or anything. It was what I said, maybe one day in the future, when... Well, maybe then she could... And now... That...
Oh, Paula.
So if I'm the one writing this ending, then I'm gonna make sure it...
In that case, we've all had our differences of opinion over the ending.
Well, if that's where we're at, looks...
Are you ready to face the truth?
Honestly, I'm slightly terrified. Funny you should ask, though.
I certainly do. Come on, everyone. Hello.
This is tough going. Don't...
As if this journey wasn't tough.
Don't worry. We should all be fine with the traveler here. We don't need to take a detour. Wait, why are you all looking at me?
We're just curious, that's all.
Yeah, but don't you remember why? The Hydro Archon willingly gave up all her powers.
Precisely! And I'm not even as much as it pains me, unfortunately. I should just...
That sounded so smug. Ugh, secondhand embarrassment is unbearable.
Hey, lay off, all right? My bluff is hanging from a thread. I'm sorry. I got carried away.
Aw, too bad.
Sorry to leave all the heavy lifting.
Don't worry, piece of cake. I see everything.
Let the world collide!
Silence!
This may hurt a little.
Yoo-hoo!
Shine down!
Everyone hold hands.
Settle down! Be sanctified.
Bravo! Good show! You certainly live up to your reputation.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, the path is cleared now, so onwards and upwards.
Vilma, are you there?
Huh? Oh, it's you guys. Wait, what?
I can explain. We've been
So, you think knowing the truth about the director's if I open this can of worms now,
Vilma, avoiding the unless you mean to suggest that
I don't want to talk about it.
Listen, Vilma. I used to think that my love for Aurelie was a point of shame, but now I've made up my mind to put the little Oceanid cannot be complete unless...
This is why people... As you all know already, the troupe was kept afloat not from ticket sales. We took on side jobs when we weren't performing, but even so, anyway, one day after a show, it seemed like a win-win, so I said yes to it on the spot. The drink in question was...
Isn't that the drink paddled by the culprit behind the series?
I freaked out when I saw the boxes, but she didn't reprimand me for making the decision without consulting her. The merchant was furious, berated us for going back on our... I was going to sort it on my own, but the director stopped me. She said, but things only got worse from there. The synth merchant just wouldn't let up. I admit this whole thing was my mistake. I didn't dare to tell any of you the truth back then, and after the director disappeared... Yeah, I got Aurelie...
Hey, don't say that.
You traitor! What do you mean, you were afraid? This was a life and death... How could you be so stupid?
Please, try not to get too worked up.
Yeah, listen to him.
Stay calm? How can I stay calm? And he has the gall to try and high-road us, claiming that he kept his mouth shut for the sake...
All I can say is I'm sorry. Truly. I'm just a coward who made an awful, terrible mistake that I can never take back in my life. So I can meet...
Get out of my sight! Go! Get lost!
That's enough! You've screamed and shouted at each other for... Can you stop conflating the show on stage with... You keep saying that you want to use this final performance to pay tribute to your direct...
You're right.
I'm sorry.
On stage, the lead role is the focal point of the audience's... But in her own life, her greatest desire wasn't to be this... What she wanted was to build a warm home for all of... I understand why you're...
Yeah.
So think hard about what that means. If you really hate each other and can't reconcile your differences, but you can't bring yourself to do that, can you? What are you laughing at?
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. It's just that if she'd seen Paulo and Vilma at each other's throats like...
Really? But she sounded like such a...
Of course she was. Even her harshest...
I'm truly sorry.
It's all right. Let's say...
So, ending.
Clearly, everyone needs to take a step back for now and reflect on what the end of the story needs to focus back on Aurelie herself.
What do you mean?
The Traveler is right. You once investigated that underwater synth base, and if you could find anything that Aurelie left behind,
You really think that's possible?
I trust that nobody would object to the ending of the story.
No.
Well, we'll leave this in you.
Come, let's pay a visit to the Palais Mermonia. The rest of you.
You want to review some recovered items connected to... Still, since you were the ones who discovered and submit...
So, this is all
Hey! It's full of script lines!
Let me take a look. Maybe they're... Aha! Looks like she kept a detailed record of her captor's actions. If we'd had the chance to examine this notebook carefully back then...
Lachey took so many lives.
I guess Aurelie must have written all of this down and... wait! It cuts... Her handwriting here gets patchier. Her final words are... I'll let you read them for yourselves.
She was so terrified.
She may have been a mighty hero in the eye. I can't bear to think how painful... wait. If you become human, you can reveal your...
Isn't that the most important line?
Because I am an older sister.
Oh.
So she didn't regret her decision. I'm sure this is what the troupe would have hoped. She had their utmost trust. Let's go. It's time for them to learn direct...